Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rainboots.com. I was asked to create Dollar Tree tin can gnomes, and that's what we're going to make today. If you'd like to make them with me, just stick around. As always, please give this video a like so I know you're here crafting with me. So here are the two we're going to make, all Dollar Tree supplies, except for the boop noses. You can use wood beads or gems or pom-poms, anything you can find at the Dollar Tree. All right, I found plush fur and faux fur at the Dollar Tree. I had never seen these before. I put them in the DIY Gnomes Facebook group because I was like, run to the Dollar Tree. I am going to be using a wood bead for the nose, a gem for a different one, and I have all of these socks. Some are pieces, but I'm going to use my craft supplies. So Dollar Tree, Michael's, anybody has, reindeer ears or gingerbread men, any kind of Christmas decorations. Okay. So this surprised me so much. I know that a lot of people are going to be making Grinch gnomes with this fur from the Dollar Tree, but I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. And this plush fur, y'all, this is very like what is at the craft stores. You can see it's got a nice pile. So I just wanted to show that you can use this as a beard and a full wraparound beard. The tin cans, I am going to put the bottom open, but you can go the opposite way and just close the top with a piece of cardboard. But you see, both of these are perfect for standard size tin can, and you'll have a little bit left over. So like I said, you can use the red fuzzy socks from the Dollar Tree, or you can use some of their knee socks and create a nice cool stocking hat, which is what I'll show you. So I'll show you two versions. So the first step is just to wrap the tin can, get an idea of where it ends, have a tiny little overlap, and just cut this with an X-Acto knife. You can use scissors, but you'll have to cover two sides of the ends if you don't want it to look a little bit chopped. All right, so all I'm going to do is just run this right up the entire side. Now I'm going to have also leftover fur for other projects because I'm going to trim this down to only the height of the tin can. And as you can imagine, the way we're going to get that is just by putting the tin can right here on, lining up the open edge bottom with the bottom of the actual fabric of the faux fur so that we get the nice little spread of fur at the bottom. And then all I'm going to do here is just hack it up with an X-Acto knife. Now, if you're one of those people who loves being exact and perfect, go ahead and use a ruler and make your line all the way across. But I'm not that girl, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm sorry if it bothers you that it's not even, but it is not even. All right. So once you have that, I'm just pulling it apart so I don't get many shedding. I'm going to use those two others on probably ornaments because they're small. All right, so now again, the open edge is at the bottom. I'm just going to line up the bottom with the bottom of the fabric. Now I know some of you are going to say, you don't need to make that much fur. You don't need to make a wraparound. You absolutely don't. You can use one portion of a sock to cover the tin can and one sock to make a hat. Absolutely. But I wanted a wraparound beard. Also, to be 1000% honest with you, this is not what I would call the nicest fur. It's scratchy, it's thin, it's sort of flat, and I didn't really want to make a whole lot of projects with it, to be honest. You can go on Amazon and for a couple dollars more get an 8x8 or 10-inch by 10-inch swatch and do a lot more with that. I would say if you're selling, maybe stay away from the Dollar Tree fur. It's just not that nice. But again, it shocked me that I found it. I'm just going to fold over this overlap portion here at the top and the bottom before I glue it down. And that way I don't have that ugly cut edge of fabric showing. So as I mentioned, it's not the best fur, but again, I was requested to do Dollar Tree tin can gnomes. And I hope this is, I actually already sent it to her and she liked them, but I hope you like them. So here is, I'm asked this a lot about a stocking cap style. So you need a stocking, and this is a Dollar Tree knee length sock, and it's from St. Patrick's Day. So we're just going to use it because it is a very good match for the green fur. So all I'm going to do is just make a little tiny hem. Now this rolls, so if you don't want to make a hem with this and just want to use a trim, you can absolutely do that. But because it's so thin, I do recommend when you put glue on it to go ahead and pull it apart a little bit and let it set, because we are going to be wrapping this around the can. So you can see when I glue it, I'm just going to pull it apart a little bit and let it glue itself together. These are great because they're only $1.25 and you can make a lot of stuff with them. You can make twisty hats where you put wire and stuffing and, you know, bend the two hats together of two little gnomes. They're super cute. All right. If you've never made this before, all we're going to do is hack off the heel, and you can use the other portion for arms and stuff. I've shown that in other videos, but for those of you who are just making Christmas gnomes, put the heel to one side. And what it's going to look like, you can just use the whole thing. So this is me showing you, all you have to do is after you put a little stuffing in, you're going to tuck this under, and you can either glue it or you can tack it in place with a few stitches. But if you don't want to do that, here's how you make the actual cap. Go right under the heel, and then you're going to cut it across. So we have this really long, tall brim, and then you're going all the way up to the portion that is the toe area. And now I'm going to turn it inside out, and we're just going to glue this up. Now I will tell you again, if you use a sock from Nordstrom's, it's going to be a little bit different than these Dollar Tree socks. These tend to curl and roll up. Just watch your little digits when you're working with hot glue in these things, because watch, it just curled right over. For those of you who are new here, I am using a Surebonder detail tip glue gun. It's a mini glue gun. It is only one setting. It's liquid lava hot. However, it works perfectly to get really, really fine details like this without losing a good portion of the fabric. You have a very thin line of hot glue. I love it. And then we're just going to glue this all the way to the point where we open cut. So you don't even have to glue anything down on the big couple inches that we have down here at the bottom. As I mentioned, if you wanted to add a brim to this hat, you can use thick, chunky yarn. They do sell some eyelash yarn at Dollar Tree, but ultimately I would just use the microfiber auto wash cloths and make that little fuzzy trim. All right, so we're not putting the stuffing in the hat. We're actually going to put the stuffing, glue it right to the top of the tin can or to the cardboard in case you put cardboard up there to seal that up. I'm going to put a couple tufts, and you can always take some out if it's a little too much, but I'm going to glue it down as best I can so it doesn't shift around and move. Now the hat should be dry by now, so I'm just going to turn it right side out. The best part about this is it's super stretchy, so you don't have any problem at all. Do make sure the hot glue is dry before you pull it apart. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it all again. I'm just rubbing the tip. Yeah, I do tend to bang it on the table too. I'm not a violent person, I promise. All right, so let's just pop it onto the gnome in the front. All right. So now we have the ability to tuck and flop this little guy over. You can flop it over the toe or the heel cut or the other way. Just getting it on so I know where everything is. Moving around that polyfill stuffing and tucking in that little join right there. All right, so I'm going to glue down the nose. Normally I would tell you to part the fur to the fabric backing. However, there's not a lot of give here on this fur. As I mentioned, it was only $1.25 for this whole piece. So try and split the fur to the fabric backing so that you get a nice solid join. Add some glue and then hold the nose in place until it dries. This stuff is slippery, so just keep that in mind when you're putting stuff on. Just be sure to hold it until it sets. And then once it does, you can kind of like give them a little mustache or whatever you want just by folding the fur. I'm going to add glue to the brim of the doubled over portion of the sock and then add that to the very top of the nose and hold that in place until it dries. This is a really easy craft. Now I'm going to be a little bit extra here for my decoration. Again, I'm keeping it super simple so I can use him for 2 seasons, and I'm going to add a bell But if you wanted to use a sock as the brim, you totally can. You can use fur, you can use the microfiber cloth from the Dollar Tree, and you can use yarn. That's always a good one. But I'm just going to add a bell, because if I put the red brim on like I was considering doing, it would really only be a Christmas sky. So I just sewed this on. You don't have to be all extra and do that, but just get it on with glue or with thread and a needle, and then glue down the hat in a few places around the body, making sure the brim all matches. I have a stripe, so I'm trying to match that. And here is this guy. Super simple, super quick to make. For the other one, I like this plush fur. I am not gonna lie, I really do. I don't necessarily like it for the beard, but I was asked to show it as a beard, so I am showing it. The exact same process we're going to do for this, we do for the other one, except where I had no fallout with the faux fur, I did have a lot of fallout with this, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by fallout. So now that we have that, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the edges of this, and you can see, grab a lint brush or something, because this stuff does tend to fall out pretty easily. It's a really short fur. All right, now we're just going to glue it to the can. Again, keep one end open or close it up with a piece of cardboard, whatever you'd like to do. You actually don't have to glue any of the hats on. If you attach the nose to the hat, you can use it as a treat jar where you just pull the hat off and stuff the tin can with treats, which is nice if you'd like to do that. Either way, I'm going to fold over this open edge again and then glue it down. Easy peasy. So on this one, I am going to use part of that sock that I've used for other things. These are the Dollar Tree Christmas slouchy socks. They are glitter. There's glitter in these guys. And so I'm going to turn it inside out and then just make the hem all the way around. For the nose, I'm going to use these I got at Pop Shelf. They're like big gems. And then I also have these Dollar Tree reindeer antlers. By the way, if you've used these, right now, pause the video and tell me what you don't like about them. Because it took me a minute to figure out why they're at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to add a little bit of polyfill again to the top of the can in layers. And just glue that down as best you can, letting the sock set. I'm going to use a little bit of embroidery thread to make a pom-pom end for my hat. But before I do, I'm going to glue down the back of the hat so that I can be pulling and tugging without anything coming apart. When the hat flops over, I'm just going to tie the little end up here. I will be adding a bow or a bell as well. You can add whatever you want. I actually really like the wood cutouts from the Dollar Tree. They have all these different sizes. The ones you see off to the right there are actually from Michael's, so I didn't use them because she wanted a Dollar Tree only item. So all the bells are from the Dollar Tree. The nose is from Pop Shelf. I totally thought they were Dollar Tree until someone reminded me, well, we got those at Pop Shelf. All right, so I had to take out a little bit of stuffing in order to get the right slouch to my hat, and then I'm going to glue the gem right onto the front of the gnome here. And again, because you're working on top of the fur, there's no way to split it. Just hold it until it's done and pop on the top of the nose. Here is where I figure out all of the antlers are facing the same way. Will anyone else notice this? I don't know. A hunter would. So I'm just going to turn one around and hope that no one notices. So if you got that, 5 points to Gryffindor. All right. I don't know if y'all are Harry Potter nerds. I love those stories. Okay, so I'm just going to glue this bell on because at this point I'm too lazy and frustrated with the antlers. So I'm just going to pop a little hole right into the front of my hat here, and I'm going to put the antlers in and then glue as much surface as I can get with glue and antler. If I would have done it again, I probably would have poked a nice little hole in the bottom of that can so that I could actually have a nice adhesion, but she just told me she needed something cheap so she could throw them away at the end of the season. So I'm glad I could help her out with this little idea. All right, glue down the side and add any decorations you want. Dollar Tree has a ton of greenery that would work for either of these, but let me know what you think of them down in the comment section below. They're really fun and quick to make. As always, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.